The Lord truly is our light and our salvation. Our readings, especially the first and second reading, talk about light and darkness. The darkness of sin and death, gloom and doom, and the light of Christ. Christ is the light of the world. He is the one who shines forth, showing us the way to God the Father through the path of life, through the journey of faith, and through the power of the cross, death, and resurrection. And as we are on this journey of life, we're called to enjoy it, yes, but we also realize that it has its challenges, and yet we are confident. We do not give in to despair. We have trust that God will always show us the way to live our life, giving us, of course, the commandments, but also giving us the great commandment of love. God is love, and that love is a decision. We are called to decide to love each and every day. When we get up in the morning, we have to say, yes, I want to love those that I meet today. It doesn't mean they're going to be our best friends. It doesn't even mean we might not even know who they are. But yet, we can be people who shine the light of Christ by our actions, our words, and our deeds. We are called to be faithful witnesses of the gospel of the good news. Good news, gospel. We are called to be good news. There's lots of bad news in our world and even in our family sometimes. But yet, do we need to dwell on that? No. We trust that God will show us how to live and how to love, that He will show us how to be instruments of God's peace. For Jesus came into the world to be totally obedient to the Father, to listen to the Father. How do we listen to the Father? Through prayer, through the sacraments of the church. We open our hearts and our minds to God's presence in our world. It's interesting to follow these readings, and if you ever have time, it's kind of nice to read the weekday readings too, whether you can be at Mass or not, because they kind of follow in a progression, especially this time of our liturgical year as we're approaching next month the season of Lent. So what Jesus is doing now is He's forming the church. He has been born into the world. Now He's in His public ministry. He's been baptized roughly at the age of 30. And so for 3 years now, He is proclaiming the message that we heard in the gospel today. Repent and believe in the good news. Have faith. Have trust that God's commandments will show us how to be happy. Happiness means sacrifice. Happiness means love. And love means that we are trying to see the face of God, not only in ourselves, but other people. In St. Paul's letter, his first letter to the Corinthians, he urges us, he encourages us to be followers of Jesus, not to be swayed by various opinions and philosophies that draw us away from our faith, that draw us away from Christ. We are called to be focused. We are called to be centered on the love of Jesus for us, that He has for us, especially from the cross. The cross is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of victory, resurrection, and new life. So if there are any rivalries among us, I often say comparisons don't work. Let's not compare ourselves to other people. Let's be who we are, children of God. Let us work on ourselves, our faith, our trust in God, and let us be more open to how God calls us to serve Him and to serve our neighbors. Jesus does not want us to be divided. Whenever there's division, that's the power of Satan working very well. And we want to work for unity and for peace. And in the gospel today, as I said, Jesus is forming the church. He is calling people to follow Him. It'd be interesting to have been there to see how this really happened. Yes, we hear about it in the gospel, but isn't it amazing how people see Christ? And I'm sure that they heard about His reputation. And here He is saying 2 words, follow me. And they get up and they follow Him. And it changes her life forever. And through baptism, which gives us our identity and our mission, Jesus is saying to us, follow me. Can we get up? Can we follow Him wherever it may lead us?